sali, sir. Yan ang kanto, yan ang Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Giúp cá. Thank you. Have a good day. Have a good day. Lumpia. Lumpia. Kẹo tete.
Kẹo tete ini lumpia aja.
Nice?
Very nice.
Enak?
Wanna try?
Enak sekali?
Enak sekali. Wanna try?
Terima kasih. Tidak.
something? Yeah, we'll love it. Am I gonna be on TV? Oh my god.